And that was our best clap yet.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time I hear us do it, it still sounds very much not synced, but it always ends up turning out okay. So I guess we're good to go there. All right, but hey, this is episode 6 of the Greater Mythos podcast, a very unorganized podcast where we talk about video games, movies, and everything in between. I'm Josh, he's Josh, and I did that pretty fast without tripping.
Man, you're just getting better and better.
I wish I could say that I didn't practice in my head from time to time, just when I'm just sitting in empty thought.
Well, hey, that's called passion, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, if you want to use passion, that's fine. That's all right. But hey, we are here. I almost said Saturday, but it's not Saturday. It's Friday. It's a Friday morning, and it's been an eventful one for me. I mean, is it wrong for me to assume that you probably have just started your day within the past hour or so?
No. Like, didn't sleep for very long because I slept a long time yesterday, but I was up at like 5 or 6.
Oh, what are you doing at 5 or 6?
Well, I'll explain that later.
Oh my goodness! All right, well then I'll just okay. That's great. I love some anticipation. Well, I woke up at like 6 or something. I think so. I was at your house last night. Mm-hmm. Both Sarah and I were, and you very much peer pressured me into having some coffee in the wee hours of the evening. And by wee hours of the evening, I guess it was about like 7:30-ish, maybe close to 8.
I'm not taking sole credit for that, by the way.
I don't know.
Sarah was saying it, and Mom was saying it.
All right. Regardless, I had a smaller cup. It wasn't a lot, and also Sarah went out of her way to tell me that she mixed regular coffee and decaf in the same pot as so there wasn't going to be as much caffeine. There is still caffeine, and as we got home last night, she ended up going to bed pretty quickly because we got back at what, I don't know, close to 10-ish maybe. Mm-hmm. I ended up watching some YouTube stuff or whatever, but then when I went to bed, I sat there, kind of just replaying old memories and past hurts, and read a few comics on the Marvel Unlimited app, and I drifted off. But then the caffeine, I guess, took its sweet time to kick in at like, it literally was like 3:12 or something this morning. So I woke up in a cold sweat. I didn't know where I was, what year it was, but I ended up falling back asleep. Woke up at 6. What did I do? I took my dog outside. She saw the neighbor's grill, and he had put a tarp over it as to protect it from rain. It's a bright blue tarp. And this is the first time my dog has seen that. And so she took it as a threat. So she's looking at the tarped thing, and she just starts barking very, very menacingly at it. And then I, very kindly pulled her away, and then she pooped. I took her back inside, and I don't know why I'm telling you all this. Then I had to take her for a walk. And then, this is it. And then I'll shut up. I got, I won't say peer pressured again. Sarah asked me very kindly for me to go and take advantage of the free Donut Friday that Dunkin' Donuts has going on currently. So this deal is you buy any drink or coffee or whatever, or tea from Dunkin' Donuts, and you get a free donut with it. Well, long story short, I wasn't signed into the app on my phone. I showed up. I had everything ordered. They had to scan the app. It was going to take too long, so I was like, I'll just pay for it. It ended up being $11. They charged me for another coffee. They messed up our coffees. I'm not even sure if we got the donuts. I didn't even pay attention, but that's my morning. I feel so lightheaded. I'm sorry. I just rambled for so long. Oh my gosh.
Well, what I got from that is that I want coffee from Dunkin' Donuts now.
Oh, dude, it's so sugary and great. And
well, yes, it just needs to help me regulate my sleep schedule, which is not regulated.
No, it's not.
But
to my knowledge, from what I've heard.
But it can be. Look, all right, when you go to online school, there's nothing to motivate. Like, I can turn in my assignment at 1 a.m. and the teacher's still going to grade it like 2 days later. It doesn't really matter what time period of the day I do it in. And it's also quieter in the house when it's 1 a.m. So these are just excuses.
It's anyway, what at 2 a.m. did you say?
It's quieter in the house at 2 a.m.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, because the whole house is asleep, I'm assuming.
Yes, okay, but those are just excuses. Anyway, so 2 a.m. I was actually asleep at this 2 a.m. Not for long.
Right.
For me, it wasn't caffeine. It was just I was already rested. But I'm getting kind of tired now.
Well, you know,
But I
we're,
did
we're
do
here.
something from 6
You-
a.m. till now.
Oh yeah, is this the big reveal? Is this what you were building towards?
Yeah.
Or
So
no, is that still later? Do I still have to wait?
I got a refund of a game
Oh,
on Steam
oh,
that I
oh.
had submitted months ago, and I had forgotten that I had done it. It was a game on Steam that was like a card game, and not that I didn't like it, I just had never played it, and it was like $30, and I said, well, I could take $30,
A
but
card game.
they accepted it, but they only put it in my Steam wallet. It was like a rogue like card game.
Okay.
Slay the Spire, if you've heard of it.
Oh, I have heard of that.
I heard it's really good. I just never played it. Anyway, so that money showed up on my Steam wallet, and I think there was another game that got refunded finally too. It ended up being $30. So I bought Subnautica because I had really wanted that.
Yeah.
And I was playing that. In fact, right up until
Very
when you
good.
messaged me, and it's really good.
Holy cow. This is truly a big reveal because one of my things that I wanted to share with you, I think I already told you off air, but I invested in Game Pass for Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I have once, I think in the past, like one of the earlier days, I ended up getting rid of it just for whatever reason. Got it again, and Subnautica is one of the games on there, and so I downloaded that. It's sitting on my console, but it's sure there because it looked really looked up my alley.
It's really, really fun, and it's chill unless a fish is chasing you. But
Oh my!
so far, there's been like these like exploding fish that chase me, but I don't know.
Is it pretty? Is it a pretty straightforward concept, or does it take some thinking and premeditation and stuff like that, or is it pretty easy going, or a
Well,
little bit of both?
there was a few things that I needed to know. I think the only things you really need to know is what you need to go for early, because it's a survival game, crafting game, whatever.
Right.
And you need food and water. So you need to look for like specifically salt piles or salt minerals on the ground and this other thing and things to make rubber or whatever so you can make tools, early game stuff. And I was just, frolicking around the ocean, picking up all these useless things that I
Frolicking
can't
around the
even
ocean.
use yet. Like I have like an
Yes.
inventory full of these mushrooms and I can't even use them yet because I don't have the blueprint.
Are they sea mushrooms?
Something like that. They're like purple.
Wow.
The game is beautiful.
Yeah, it sure looks like it.
So I recommend it because that's a game you can just put down and pick up whenever you want. There's no like time investment. It's all based on because you set your own goals. Like I want to.
Right.
I guess the only thing the game tells you to do is to not die. So
So is that in a nutshell, and then we won't spoil Subnautica, is I'm assuming there's a story or a light story is because I remember reading that you get more or less stranded on an alien water planet, right? Isn't that the gist? Is that it? And then you have to, like you said, stay alive, or is there an actual end game to pursue?
I don't know
To your
any
knowledge.
of that yet. So I've
Oh.
only played for like an hour, but
Wonderful.
well, actually more like 30 minutes. I always take a long time changing settings. But
Sure.
yeah, I mean there is a little bit of like not I guess lore, but like plot at the beginning and then bam, you're in the alien world.
Hmm.
But that's like the first 5 minutes of gameplay.
I look forward to that.
Yes, and it's very freeform after that. I think there is like objectives eventually. Like you repair this radio, and I haven't even used it yet, so I don't know what it says, but I assume it would tell you more. But yes, so I've been enjoying my 30-minute, use this word again, frolic
Yes.
into this underwater adventure survival
not-
crafting game.
I'm not sure if that technically applies to the biome of the ocean, but I like the style. I like the
Just
style you're going for.
Just imagine like frolicking underwater. Like
I don't know.
what's that look
Yeah,
like?
I see a man drowning because I don't feel like you could frolic without being in peril.
I did already drown and die because I wasn't watching my oxygen level.
Great. It's good to have a few deaths under your belt.
Yes.
All right, cool. Subnautica. Cool. We have a few things we're gonna hit here in a second. I mentioned this to you a day or two ago. I plan um, this is episode 6, but also, we're still early on. I don't think it's going to get much better than this, but as far as structure and approach, we're still kind of, getting the groove down. And so, not that this is a massive return to form or anything, but I've decided that since you have kind of taken the role of, grabbing 3, 4, or 5 specific, topics or questions or whatever to chew on, I'm going to do the same as far as random bits of news in the world that we live in that I find interesting. And you might not, Chris might not, no one else might find it interesting, but you know what? I'll bring it up and then we can take it out if it's bad.
All right, so hit me with one of these topics.
No. That was a joke. All right.
I was like, that's a big opening for that.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's totally going to be a letdown. No, so you may or may not have seen some of these in the past few days. Let me read through here where to start. Well, first off, this isn't necessarily a news thing, but this is just something that I wrote down because I wanted to share it with you. So on Netflix, there's the new Transformers animated series. Have you heard of that?
No.
No.
I actually haven't.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if it's technically anime or not, but it's a Transformers Netflix original animation. I think it's called War for Cybertron. I could be wrong, but it's that kind of vibe. I watched the first episode a while ago, or like last week, and this one quote stuck in my head, so I just want to get this off my chest. So something happens. There are Transformers, and they're transforming about. Something happens, and one of the Transformers yells this. Well, polish my tailpipe.
Polish my tailpipe.
That was it. I wasn't sure what kind of reaction I was going to get, but I just thought I'd share that with you. So anyway, there's the Transformers. So the first thing, Halo Infinite, as we've discussed in recent past, big deal for Josh. The multiplayer will be free to play. It will be running at 120 FPS. And on Game Pass, as we have previously discussed. And since I have made the massive investment into Game Pass, your boy will be able to, or presumably be able to get it on day one without having to go super out of my way.
And he says massive investment, but it was like, what, $1?
$1 for the first month, 15 after.
Oh, so it did go up to 15. I thought it was 5.
No, so it's $1 to join, and that's the first month, and then after that, I believe it's $15 a month.
Well, then why not you just use the $1 for the first month and then wait until Halo comes out to get your next month?
Well, because there are also, I got Subnautica now, as we previously discussed. I got the Blair Witch game. I got Rocket League. I got some other things I'm trying to groove on, and so, but yeah, so that'll be on there. The multiplayer will be free. That's pretty dope. Kind of coming off the heels of Modern Warfare and the acclaimed Warzone being free for everyone as well, kind of seeming to cash in on that kind of approach. But I found that very satisfactory in my little head.
But if it's free to play, but you'll have it on Game Pass, so you'll actually have the campaign too.
Correct. Yeah, and so. presumably whatever else will come with it.
Yeah.
Because they might have said this, but I don't remember. So the multiplayer will be free. I'm assuming that's Slayer, Team Slayer, and whatever. I'm not sure if their version of Warzone will be on there or not. Was it called Warzone? I forget. On Halo 5, you remember? Or we talked about that before.
Well,
I was like,
it won't be on launch though. So
not the not the Royale, the game mode that was on Halo 5 that was the PvE. Firefight. Yeah. So I'm not sure if
it'll be a part of the game on launch. I don't know if it'll be free, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, so that's pretty dope. Looking forward to that. I don't think they have announced a release date yet for it. Both for the Series X and Halo, but I'm assuming probably holiday-ish season of this year if we're so lucky. But any thoughts on the Halos? You pretty stoked? You're gonna invest? You're not gonna touch it? The 10-foot pole?
I have watched a lot of YouTube videos. I don't know if I wasn't a huge fan of Halo 4 or 5. I loved the first 3. I don't know.
Side note, Halo 3 is 15 years old. Yes. I just read that today. Sorry to interrupt you, but that just blew my head.
Yeah, it makes me feel old. Yeah, so those games were great. I'm not a big fan. Like I played through 4, I beat that game way back, and then 5, I just couldn't. I just didn't care about
Really? The
the new
campaign?
right.
Right. Yeah,
And
we did talk about Locke, didn't we?
which really stunk because the guy who voiced it, I think, is Luke Cage.
Yes, he is.
And I like the actor and I like Luke
Yes.
Cage, but I
Yes.
just couldn't. They just didn't make me feel. I don't know. You're playing a Halo game, you want to play as Master Chief. I think that it should just be a given. I think it's kind of been written into a hole at this point.
You think so? Is it a 6 foot deep hole, or is it a shallower hole that you might be able to be resuscitated from?
I don't know because they've made Halo games where you could play as other characters before, like Halo 2 and 3. You could play it like in 2, you actually switched between Master Chief and the Arbiter. And then 3, if you played like split screen, the second person was the Arbiter.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was 2, wasn't it? Did you just say? Sorry.
2, you switched between them. And then
Right.
3, if you played co-op, your second player would be Arbiter.
Gotcha.
And
Huh.
which was always me because I was always at my friend's house playing it. So, science fiction. Now I'm going to make an awesome shuffle to a different topic. You ready
Oh
for
my
it?
gosh. Oh yeah, we're going back and forth. Is that how we're doing this?
So, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and things on science fiction, which actually made me
Just in
want to
general?
play Subnautica. Well, yeah.
Okay.
And I came across this trilogy, which I'd heard of before, but I'd never read it, called the Mars Trilogy, if you've heard of it.
Are these books or movies or games? What'd you say it was?
Books.
Okay. The Mars trilogy.
By Kim Stanley Robinson. Apparently, they're critically acclaimed, so much so in the scientific community that the first drafted flag for what they'll use on Mars when we finally go there will actually be the same color scheme used in the book trilogy, which was red, blue,
Huh.
green.
I'm looking at it now. Interesting.
And they look really good. They're highly rated, and they're science fiction about Mars colonization, so I ordered them,
Oh, there you go.
and I'm going to read them.
Good for you. Yeah, I'm looking at them now. It's so bizarre that the 3 that I'm looking at, like you said, it's red Mars, green Mars, and blue Mars. Your dad showed us a series of books last night that was kind of categorized like that, wasn't it? As far as the color coordinated.
The Ted Decker Circle books.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So I'm
No,
gonna read those when they come.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that because I've been watching like Vsauce YouTube videos and stuff, really talking about like the universe, and I don't know.
Sure.
I've always been fascinated about that. Maybe I should have gone into physics instead of IT. I don't know, but
Well,
I don't know
there's
how.
there's still time to. Maybe there's not time. Who knows? Maybe the pooch has been screwed.
Well, I don't have to necessarily pursue it as a career, but I definitely like studying it on my own time anyway.
Sure. You know what I like to. Maybe I shouldn't say this on air. Yeah, I guess I will for the hot take. Okay, I'm not saying that I side on either. I'm not saying that I'm on board with what I'm about to say. I'm just saying this is something that I find interesting. I find it interesting to watch moon landing conspiracy videos. I think it's interesting. I have no skin in the game either way. And the only reason I'm sheepish about saying that is because I have a few friends that are very diehard. Like if you say that, you're not an American kind of thing. I understand. I find it interesting.
I don't think you're un-American if you don't think that, because I think it's pretty American to believe in conspiracy theories, but I do think it did happen.
Sure.
I mean, it's just too many people involved. It would have been leaked if it was a conspiracy.
Sure.
I think that.
Yeah, that's what they want you to think.
Well, there's some principle or law or theory or something. I forget the name of it that states that like when you have so many people, like the odds of it being leaked are high.
Sure, definitely. Well,
But-
let's crush that because I could go on and on about the moon landing conspiracy. Let me show you these last 2 things that I had just so I can clear my slate here. So the last news, if that's what you want to call it or whatever, the hot topic of Josh's relationship with the Marvel's Avengers game that may or may not be good. So the beta, I incorrectly wrote in my notes that the Avengers beta for the game would be this weekend. That's incorrect. I think it's this weekend for, I'm not sure if it's pre-orders or if it's for just people that got a special code. But there's an open beta for everyone on August 21st to the 23rd. So that's coming up here. I think that's about,
For every console?
yes, that's about 2 weeks away. Yep, open for all. You could jump in, play the beta. Preload will be available on the 20th. You'll need a Square Enix members account to participate. I made that this morning because
Square Enix?
Yep, I'm going to make this happen. I don't even care. So I gave them my email. I signed up, and I'm going to play this.
Okay, so the reason for that reaction, they're the Final Fantasy people.
Yes,
Why are they making it?
they're making the game.
Yeah, why? That's like so far
I don't-
removed from
I don't
everything else they've
know.
ever. That's like that would be like Activision, like not even them, like Treyarch or Infinity or whoever makes Call of Duty anymore. That'd be like them
Nah.
turning around and making like an RPG. You know, like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like
You sound so offended.
I'm not offended. It's just my
You
world
sound
is-
offended.
my world doesn't
Turned
make
upside
sense
down.
anymore.
Oh my gosh, what a hot take.
Seriously, go
Um,
look at all Square Enix games. Just like
I know.
they're all JRPGs.
I know. Well, that's probably why the first character models for the Avengers looked very shocking.
They changed them?
They've been tweaked a little bit. I mean, they're not like drastically different, but they're some of the features on the faces have been tweaked a little bit. But no, so the open beta 21st to the 23rd. I'm very much looking forward to that. Last thing, and you surely you've heard about this. There was an announcement earlier this week, I think, that Spider-Man is coming to the Marvel's Avengers game, but only as a PlayStation exclusive as post-launch content. How do you? What do you? Yeah. There's a chuckle. There's a chuckle over there.
Capitalism. Well, anyway.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's just about money or making sure that Sony paid extra money to get that, or if it actually has something to do with Sony having the rights of Spider-Man on their console.
I think that's it specifically.
That's probably it.
Which is unfortunate.
It can't. It doesn't hurt Sony to get extra sales, which means I'll have Spider-Man and you won't.
That just means I'm coming over.
That's true.
I'm coming over for a half hour to swing around and punch some people. Then I'm coming back to play in the comfort of my own home.
So yeah, I mean that's interesting. They've done stuff like that before.
Sure.
I wouldn't
What
be
was it?
surprised if it gets enough backlash that they'll eventually put it on Xbox, but we'll see.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but also I was listening to some other people's thoughts on it, and they had just mentioned that kind of what you just said. This isn't new as far as obviously platform or console specific content,
Mhm.
but also that it's been happening recently. And one of the things that they brought up that I totally forgot about when when Modern Warfare came out, there's a specific game mode, I can't remember what it's called, that came out just for PlayStation.
And I think PlayStation has gotten several games like before other consoles.
Game specifically, you mean?
Yeah, like released earlier. Like Red Dead, not Red Dead. Red Dead's only on. But like some certain games were released, and I'd have to look up which ones. But I mean, Sony has like dominated Microsoft in this gen. Like
Sure.
revenge from last gen.
Return of the Gen.
Well, yeah, think about it. I mean, it was completely reversed with 360. Had way more sales than the PS3. Like, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone you knew who had one. Like, I did. I knew, like, one person who had a PS3. And everyone else that was a gamer had a 360. It was just what you had.
Wait, say that again? Sorry. As far as the consoles, you said everyone had a PlayStation?
The other way around, a 360.
Right. Okay, okay. That's how I remembered it. And then for some reason, my eyes glazed over, and I thought you said PlayStation.
Well, it's the other way now.
Drive to your house.
I had an Xbox too, but the PS4 has sold way more than the other two. Now, speaking of that topic, we mentioned it last night, but the Switch is rising.
Yes,
in
Nintendo
sales. In
Yes.
fact, it just recently came within 200,000-300,000 products of or sales of the original NES, which used to
Hmm.
be one of its highest sales, which means it'll be second to only the Wii in terms of Nintendo consoles.
Refresh my memory, because again, I think you said last night. So the Wii sold really well then, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's
So
I
bizarre
think
to
it's
me.
the fourth highest selling console, sixth highest selling if you count handhelds.
Hmm.
The Wii sold 101.63 million units.
Wow. How much was it on release? Do you remember, or do you have that information by
I
chance?
don't, but it was like 200,
Okay. Really?
200, 300,
Huh.
something like that. It wasn't
Did
high.
you did you guys have a Wii?
Yeah.
Gosh, man, what a time!
Wii, oh yeah, I still remember getting the Wii. The only game I had on it on release was Wii Sports.
Of course. Why
And
would you boxing? You kidding me? Come on, meet me in the ring,
yeah,
sucker.
it was a birthday present, I think. Because I remember that, and I've learned this later, but like my parents had said that I was going to get games from someone else for my birthday. So they
Sure.
coordinated with that or
Did that ever
something.
happen, or did
It
they just
did.
say
I got
that?
games
Okay,
later.
good, good.
Um, but yeah, I mean, but I played the heck out of Wii Sports, like a whole family did. That was just fun. Well, so it sold incredibly well, mainly because it was just, motion controls. That was still new then.
Yeah, big deal.
But the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 4 have both sold more than the Wii. In fact, the PlayStation 4, in terms of home consoles, not handhelds, is second only to the PlayStation 2 in terms of units sold.
Hmm.
And the Switch is like in the top 8 of consoles, like the top 12 to 15 if you got handhelds. And it's rising still.
Let me ask you a very ignorant is not the right word. An ignorant question. Do you think that and I'm sure there are many levels to this, the success of the Switch, obviously Nintendo has a lot of clout, if that's what the kids say these days, just with just being Nintendo. Do you think that the Switch sold more because of everything that goes along with Nintendo, Mario, I don't know why Mario's the only one that came to mind, or the fact that it was mainly uh, it's handheld, but I mean you could do the TV thing as well, but it's mainly dare I say it's mainly a handheld console. Do you think it was one more than the other, or just a perfect storm of both of it? Does that even make sense?
Well, every person sees the Switch differently. There are people like you who see it mostly as a handheld, and people like me who see it mostly who don't want to use it as a handheld.
Hmm.
And I've seen both. I think the real reason it did so well is twofold. It was marketed really well at the beginning, which gave it a good kickstart, but then it's had like a ton of like slam dunk titles. So
Hmm.
like Breath of the
Breath of the Wild.
Wild,
Yep.
Super Mario Odyssey, which came out like bang bang, just two huge shots right out of the gate.
Stardew
They've
Valley.
had like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was basically just a reskin of the Wii U one, but
Hmm.
now it's being marketed. And they just kept happening. Just like huge titles kept happening. The launch, like the big 8 at the beginning, like Octopath Traveler was big for them. The
Yes.
Xenogear or whatever that game is.
Xenopath or something, Xeno
Yeah.
Octopus Traveler or whatever it's called.
Whatever that game sold really well, and it just keeps happening. And then getting a bunch of third party support, which it's never really happened for Nintendo, like Switcher and Switch Skyrim and Persona for the Switch. I mean, these huge consoles exclusives were once exclusives are now being thrown onto the Switch.
Right.
The other two console giants don't even really care, and I think that's why it's been like under the radar for those companies. All of a sudden, Switch passes Xbox One, and it's still rising.
Well, you made the comment about the other, like Nintendo, not Nintendo, Microsoft and PlayStation not caring as much about those titles. It's interesting because I was talking to a mutual friend of ours a few days ago at work about Game Pass and how that or whatever, and I heard an interesting perspective about the quote unquote console wars in that with the Series X coming out and the PlayStation 5 and all that. The PlayStation 5, and I'm being very broad, so don't shoot me. PlayStation 5 is very much, holy cow, look at how intense our hardware is, look at what it can do, the I almost said malware, the specs, the heavy duty, structure of it all. And an Xbox, although it is also going to be a powerful machine, there it appears that they are more focusing on the games as a service, the Game Pass, the subscription, wanting you to be along in those kinds of ways, and not as much in this console is the new breath of life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I think that's both a boon and a curse for them.
Sure, sure.
Um, they did this with the Xbox One too. Like I remember when they were announcing it, they like weren't even talking about games. They were talking about like, oh look, you can look at all this extra stuff. Like you can watch TV, you can listen to music on this
Look
thing.
at this Connect.
Yeah, like if I'm
It's
gonna
always on.
yeah, if I'm gonna buy a console for video games, it's gonna be for video games.
Sure.
If I wanted something that would allow me to watch Netflix on my TV, I'll just buy like a $20 Blu-ray player that has
A
Netflix enabled.
Roku.
Right. Like I'm not people aren't going to buy it for that, and the extra media features weren't as important. But I think doing that, like going down that route will help them in some ways. It'll help Microsoft. I don't think the Xbox team is going to get the sales they think when everyone can just play the same games on the old console and on computer.
Sure.
But
Well,
and PlayStation's launch titles are better. Besides, like Halo Infinite's like their one thing the Xbox has,
their claim to fame.
which is it's always Halo. But you go over to PlayStation and they already have like that announcement video, which wasn't perfect, but it had some slam dunk titles in there that's going to get people to buy the console. Like
Sure.
Demon Souls Remastered alone is going to sell them 100,000, 200,000 consoles.
You were pretty stoked about it.
Oh, I mean, it's why I want to buy it. I don't think it'll be on PC. If it is, then I won't. Like that's
right.
Until Elden Ring comes out, I guess. You know.
Oh yeah, good luck.
But we'll see about that. But yeah, I definitely think, and you know, I'm not like I play all of it.
You do.
I am putting my stock as PlayStation 5 winning the next console war unless something changes. Halo Infinite comes out and it's like incredible, then maybe, or some other titles that we don't even know about yet.
Yeah, if I may interject, even if Halo Infinite will be a slam dunk in whatever way, and in many ways I'm sure it will be, because even if Microsoft comes out and says that it underperformed as far as sales and stuff, Halo specifically, they're still going to make a trash load of money. I mean,
they are, but the thing is there's a negative connotation to failing the console wars.
Sure.
And the fact that there's been this big switch is going to impact the next console generation because it did originally. The Xbox 360 was so much better than the PS3 in terms of sales and in how well it did and popularity. The only reason the PlayStation 4 wasn't immediately trumped is because they got a Call of Duty game to release earlier on their console. I think that's what it was. Advanced Warfare or something. One of the consoles.
Advanced Warfare.
Whichever was the one coming out at the time. The next gen Call of Duty. That and some other games were going to get released earlier. And so, you know, the Call of Duty crowd is going to move to that console. And it became the new home of Call of Duty, which before then had been 360. I mean, it had the highest player base of all the Call of Duty games.
Remember when PlayStation 3 had free online?
Remember when Nintendo had free online?
Oh.
It was just 360 that didn't.
My, how times have changed. Well, and then now, what? Isn't it, they're doing the one thing where apparently you're not going to have to pay for live anymore, or it's going to be rolled into something else? I saw that too. I can't remember what that was.
They shouldn't charge, period, because they don't even do maintenance on it. They do no work on it, and it doesn't cost any money to run those crappy servers. It really doesn't. But now, like Sony and Nintendo realized that, wait, there's just money lying on the table we could just pick up. So, of course. But it just doesn't. Running servers, which basically boil down to just player-to-player matchmaking, so your own internet's doing the work, and they're not, and they're charging you anyway, like, that's ridiculous. But that's a whole nother debate.
That's a whole other thing. Well, hey, we'll slam shut, whatever. I don't even remember how we got on that, but what's something else on your plate? What you got cooking in your oven over there?
Well, we were talking about Mars.
Yes.
So there's been like a couple of years ago, they were talking about a trip to Mars, humans going to Mars, and they talked about like the 2030s that it would happen.
Oh,
But
oh.
then, Elon Musk being the person he is,
I was
coming
gonna
out
say,
and
is this
saying,
an Elon Musk thing?
well, he's working with NASA now, and we might even see a trip like in 2 years at least, like at the soonest.
Hmm.
That's kind of weird to think that we might have humans on another planet because it's never happened before.
Besides the moon, you mean?
The moon,
Supposedly.
well, the moon's not a planet;
Ah, yes. My apologies.
it's a
Huh.
moon.
Yeah.
Anyway, no,
Good. Yeah.
well, I mean, even if you don't believe the original moon landing, there's been many
I
more
didn't say that.
since.
Didn't say that. Didn't say it.
I'm
Didn't say
just
it.
saying, even
I'm just
if.
saying. I'm just saying.
Plus, I think that we've seen the flag like from Earth, so I don't know how it got there
Uh huh. Uh huh. MS Paint.
in the sky.
I just.
That would
No,
be impressive.
the Mars thing is interesting, and I just, I think we've discussed this too. Is I don't think I could ever get on a ship and be blasted to Kingdom Come into the sky, and then be in the sky for however long.
I think it's 8 months.
Ugh, I think I'm too frail mentally and emotionally.
Well, you are not selected, so that's good.
Thank you.
It'll be people who can handle it because I couldn't either. I don't think. I mean, that's a long time, and there's talks of giving them some kind of immunity. So it's like extraterrestrial immunity or whatever the term is. I forget the
Excuse
exact
me?
name. And what it's going to mean is that they really won't have to follow Earth's laws because, I mean, how would we even police them? They're going to be on a different planet 8 months away. So they'll have their own government, their own laws, their own structure.
What is that? Why though? Why does that? What is that? I guess I'm not following. What number one? And I'm not asking in an aggressive way. I'm curious. Number one, why does that matter? Number two, I guess I only have number one.
Well, saying, okay, you're following Earth's laws when the group is not all going to be from one country, it's not all just going to be American. There's going to be quite a bit of Americans because I think it's an American headed project, but there's going to be people from other nationalities, a
Hmm.
different government, different laws, and the UN laws don't cover everything. So they're going to be free to. It's the only logical way to run their new society, quote unquote. Because
New society.
I think there's going to
Yeah.
be like 20 to 22 of them, and they're it. They're not coming back. There's not going to be a way for them to come back, not until we
Ugh, I
find
don't
a
like
way
that.
to do that.
I don't like it.
Well, you know what? It won't end up like the Martian movie.
Haven't seen it.
It's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty good.
Huh. I probably won't see it, but I believe you.
You'd like it.
Yeah, I'm sure I would. We watched a few weeks ago. We watched, what was that called?
I can't
It
read your
wasn't.
mind.
Thank you. I don't. Was it Apollo 11? I don't think it was 11. It was an Apollo that wasn't actually real, but it was the one that was filmed as a like a documentary or whatever, and they get to the moon, and then there's like spoilers for whatever this movie is. There's like freaking space parasites
Is it?
on the
I think it's
moon.
Apollo 13. I think that's the name of the movie.
Is it 13? Yeah, it's a good film, man. I saw it like when it first came out several years ago, but Sarah hadn't seen it, so we busted that out, and that's a good one. That's a good one right there.
So here's something spooky about space.
I love spooky space.
They found what it all points to being a chunk of Mars in the Antarctic that had like flown, like been blasted off Mars, flown for a while, and landed on Earth. And they
Say
found
it? What?
and they found what appeared to be like fossilized microbes on it. Now they couldn't
Oh.
confirm that it was actually alien life, but that's where the belief that there might actually be some kind of microbes underneath the surface on Mars that we haven't seen before. Which, even if it's something like that, that immediately proves that we're not alone in the universe, that there is other life out there, even if it is just microorganisms.
Hmm.
I think
You
that's
think they
the
get-
biggest reason for going, is to see if that's true.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Yeah, I know, right? The meme. No, that's interesting, man. Talking about space, I now that we're side note talking about the Mars book, I am currently starting book 2 of the Expanse series, Caliban's War. It's on my desk. I'm looking at it now. I finished part 3 of The Way of Kings, and I have 3 more parts to go. And it's a big boy of a book. So I'm taking a break on that. Gonna crack book 2 of this and hopefully do Harry Potter's at some point. But my life's a mess, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Space.
It's big.
Yes, it is. Definitely huge. FTL. Have you heard of that game?
From the last.
Faster than light, but you were close.
Okay. I've heard, it sounds very familiar. FTL.
It's another indie game, and it's you control your spaceship, and you have your crew in your ship, and they run the different systems on your ship, and it's a roguelike, so if you die, you start over. And like
Perfect.
random events happen, and you're just trying to make your way through the various sectors to get to the end, and then beat like some enemy flagship or whatever. And it's
The Russians, probably.
they're called the Rebels. So
Yeah, okay.
well, speaking of Russians, you're a part of the Federation, so I mean,
How appropriate.
in science fiction fashion, their federations are portrayed as the good guys when they're all butt in real life. But speaking of butts, it's fun and it's simple. The combat is you just like pick what weapon to use and you pick an area on their ship to shoot, and then it does it itself, and it all just plays out, and then you move your crew around to fix things that are broken, and it's very simplistic. It's very charming. The music is awesome.
Charming, you say?
Yes. Well, it's retro graphics, you know. Just look up the FTL Faster Than Light soundtrack on like YouTube or Spotify or whatever, and listen to it. You'll really like it.
Well, I'm watching gameplay right now. Granted, this is from 2012. This gameplay video, and if I may say, one of the top, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 comments on this video from 7 years ago, I guess, 7ish years, and one of them from Bayor de Wolf. He says, "Sucks like most PC games."
I don't know what video you're on. That guy probably only plays Call of Duty, by the way.
Yeah, man, I can't see you from that high horse up there. You must come down.
Look, all right, I just don't find enjoyment in modern setting shooting games.
I understand. No, this looks. I like the graphics a lot, dude. I really, now that the train has apparently run off the tracks in our conversation, that Among Trees I showed you yesterday, I really want to try that. But I really don't have a way to play it currently. Plus, I have Subnautica.
Well, speaking of my high horse, I think FTL is PC only, but it will run on literally anything. So, like, it's a really lightweight game. So I do suggest you play it on your computer and just try it, because I think it's cheap. You will really get a kick out of it. It's like you're playing Star Trek the game. Like, you're like running your own ship. And random events happen, and you get crew, and there's like different races of crew, and it's super simplistic to play, and you have different ship types.
Can I start a mutiny?
Well, random events can happen. You run the ship. You are the ship. What do you mean mutiny?
So does it matter? You can do a mutiny.
Well, I mean, you can open the doors outside your ship and drain all the oxygen and kill everyone inside if you want.
Ah, yes, a good pastime.
I mean, that's like a strategy. Like, if people like board your ship, you could just suffocate them in your ship, like lock them in a door, and then. So yeah, it's a fun game, and I don't know. I'm just on a huge sci-fi kick right now.
I love it.
Explains why I bought the books, and
I'm excited to hear what you think about those. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I really want to read that. Just space exploration, colonization, that stuff really excites me. So
really greases your wheels.
You could say that, yes.
Holy cow! I just pulled up Twitch. Elder Scrolls is in the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, top 6 of.
I think it's Elder Scrolls Online, right?
Nope, Skyrim. Actually, you know what? I've spoken correctly. This was a different list. There are only 940 viewers currently. But anyway, gosh, Skyrim. We can't start talking about that. Say something else quick.
You brought it up.
Hey, really quick. We've gotten so many commercials for Circle K food. Have you been getting those, or is that just me?
Well, I guess this is pretty bad to say, but I use ad blocks. I don't get any commercials.
Very good, very good.
I turn off ad block on specific YouTubers, though.
Sure. You got to give them the
The
gotta give
ad
them
revenue, the 2 cents
yeah,
they get
man.
from my view.
That's right. You got to pay the bills.
Hmm. But
Hmm.
no, I don't. But I've also never eaten Circle K food. Their coffee's all right.
The coffee's all right. I've gotten a few breakfast things from them in recent past, but no need to waste more time talking about Circle K food. I think someone's car is getting broken into right now outside my house. Can you hear that?
I could, but I don't know.
Okay.
It's probably just someone sat on the button.
I don't know. It's still going.
Nothing
Huh.
exciting happens here. We
I
literally
mean,
live near cornfields, and that's not saying where we live because cornfields are everywhere. But
well, also
farm
there's
fields.
different there's different levels of exciting. There is definitely bad exciting. I think plenty of bad exciting things have taken place.
Well, I think one exciting thing, and this is a completely unrelated to everything we've talked about. Seniors from my high school at some point tried to burn crop circles, like alien crop circles in one of the cornfields.
They tried to burn them.
Yeah, like using fire.
Why? Why
And
fire?
they burned a lot of the field and ended up getting arrested.
What a shock. What a
But
shock that fire did what it was intended to do.
yeah, I don't know. Nice senior prank. I don't even think they graduated because of that.
Gosh, they got us good, didn't they?
Well, the senior prank when I was a senior was some idiots. I guess they were thought themselves really clever. Put like stink bombs in the vents of the school, like all over the place. And they eventually let us go home because it smelled so bad. Like people were like getting sick.
I don't understand. I don't understand people.
Well, speaking of not understanding people's logic, see if you
Oh, good.
get this. Now, this is 2 days before graduation, right?
Okay.
All that's and we don't even have school those 2 days. This is just like the weekend before. All we have to do is show up and grab our diploma and go home, and we're done.
And leave.
And these two kids, and they were twins. I went to
course.
school with them all the way through. They went and got drunk on school property and damaged property and got expelled 2 days before graduation and had to redo senior year.
Did they do public urination?
I don't know how they did it, but they destroyed something. But they were like wasted. And they're underage drinking too. Like 2 days. Wait 2 days to do that. You'll have your diploma and then they can't take that away from you.
Well, why put off till tomorrow what you can screw up today, you know?
Yeah, man, that was because I remember because they had last names that started with a B, so there were just 2 empty seats to the right of me in graduation.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, so whatever. Guess I had some more leg room, I guess. I don't know.
That is unfortunate.
This is also 2 members of the same graduation class. They got the lowest recorded ACT reading score in the school's history.
I think you mentioned that recently, didn't you? Weren't we talking
Yeah.
about something about scores and stuff? And
I guess I should be ashamed, but I think it's pretty hilarious.
I don't know, man. And no shame to these people, but when you think about the things to fall short in, I guess you take for granted reading nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just mostly that they didn't comprehend. I mean, the questions are pretty
Sure.
self-explanatory if you read the passages. Some of them were like, well, now we need to get into the emotions of the passage, which I assumed I got those wrong. I got like a 32 on it, which was my highest part, actually, of the ACT. I think I ended up with like a 28 total, and that was like my highest part was reading, actually. And I guess I wasn't strong enough to bring up the average, which was like a 13 for the graduating class.
That's okay. You know, there's still room to improve. There's always room to improve, I guess I should say.
I think with a 13, you didn't even read the passage. You just filled in blanks. I think that's what you got there. I mean, it's multiple choice for if you're going to get a 25% just by randomly putting things down. So.
They have it for your ACT talk, I suppose.
Well, look, I think people would like reading more if in schools we were given a choice of what to read and not Oedipus Rex. But that's just, me.
I was gonna make a comment, but I don't know. You got to read the classics, I guess.
I think that classic should be burned. Also, we read Things Fall Apart, and I think it's supposed to be like culturally relevant about like African culture and everything. But the
Sure.
whole story is about people getting their heads cut off and them eating yams. Literally the whole book.
Yams, you said?
Yeah, because it was like one of the few things that could
Yams.
grow well there in like the desert. But like it's an African tribal culture, and it's about a guy who has multiple wives and horribly abuses them. Like, what
Oh.
are we teaching our kids? Then
Oh.
and then he enslaves his own wives and everything and a bunch of other people in the tribe, like
Oh.
alpha male type thing.
Oh.
Their main like export is yams,
Oh.
and it ends with
I
him
don't
getting
like
his head
that
cut
word.
off. Yeah,
Ugh.
they taste really good though, like candied yams, like at
I'm
Thanksgiving.
not sure if I don't think I've had canned yams.
On Thanksgiving, not canned,
Have I?
candied.
Oh, candied. Sure. Yes. Right. Yes. Of course.
When we have it at Thanksgiving, you need to try it.
Maybe I have. I
They're
don't
basically
know.
just sweet potatoes. I think there's something different
Oh.
about them. I don't know.
Man, I feel like the past 10 minutes have been such a roller coaster of emotions and things.
That's every
We-
episode of the
We,
podcast.
I don't know. This one felt especially strange. We went from what do we start with? Hang on, let me think. We went from Mars expedition to candied yams.
Hey, you added more topics than usual this time, so I'm gonna place it on you.
No, no, it's
my
fine, it's
topics here,
fine.
my topics here are Subnautica to science fiction to Mars to
Yeah.
FTL, and then I had like the Nintendo Switch topic.
Yeah. Well, I've often wondered. Let's just pull back the curtain here as we expose ourselves. Wrong choice of words, but that's okay. I've maybe the next episode or two. We've had hushed talks behind the scenes of a specific episode with that may or may not include a certain brother of ours, dare I say, and with a very specific topic, and so that might be coming up on the horizon. But also, I'm wondering maybe we should do a few that are solely dedicated to a specific thing, so it's more specific to a specific thing.
Well, we could,
But yeah,
and
we have the ability, we have the technology.
The specific brother of the early
Yes.
one would have to agree.
Oh, do you
to
think
do
he would
it
disagree?
first
Do you think he wouldn't do it?
I think it's more about him finding the time. He's a busy
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna know that we're talking about him?
I mean, of course.
Okay.
Look, I have two brothers. It's either or.
Oh my
and you know what?
gosh, yeah.
I'd want to have both of them on the cast.
Oh
so
my gosh, that'd be so crazy, huh?
I want to
Hmm.
have my sister on the cast for some topics too.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I could handle it. I don't know if I could. It's not a bad thing. I can see it. I can see hey, this is how I imagine it.
Yeah.
I imagine it. Let me use a parable or a metaphor. I'm not equating any person to this, but I see us having these specific people on the podcast as us putting a leash on a dog and then going outside and then the dog just yanking us and just running away.
Wow, you really went to the worst possible.
No. I don't mean that in a negative way. I feel like it would be craziness in all of the best and unsettling ways. I didn't no negativeness. No negativeness.
Not negativeness. I meant like you went like it could
I just
not
yeah.
go well. So look, all
I
right?
don't know. Yes.
I don't see it as putting him on a leash. I see it mostly
Wonderful.
Well, that was
Taking the leash off.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's not like we're the most controlled and organized individuals.
No,
in the podcast
it's in the
universe.
intro. It's unorganized. It's part of the charm, I guess. Maybe not.
I feel like having the one topic and having another voice in there would add something interesting.
A little bit of flair, maybe a little bit of spice, a little bit of
think-
razzle dazzle.
When we have like a created physical space to record, when the plague has ended,
Ah, yes,
I think it might be better because then they can just show up. Because right now, they'd have to have a correct mic and the software set up and have time to record too. And I think it's just too much.
Too much.
But once the physical space is set up, they just have to come on over and talk.
And talk, or not. They could just sit and watch.
Well, hey, I think it works better if we pick a topic that aligns with their interests or
Oh, definitely.
their, I guess, hatred of certain things.
Yeah, Twilight it is.
I want to see Sarah talk about Twilight.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's bizarre. That would actually be an interesting thing because as she mentioned recently, her view of those films, obviously from when she was very much younger to now, seeing
Mhm.
them recently, her view has changed tremendously, as it should, as she has grown up and has a different perspective and view on things.
Well,
It's
my
very
view has
interesting.
changed of the movies, not in the same way. I didn't like them back then either, but back then
Right.
my criticisms were like, "This is a girls' movie. I'm bored." You know,
No, no.
I'm like 10 years, 12 years old, whatever it is coming out. Now I actually can see why I didn't like the movies. You know,
Yeah, well,
yeah, I don't know. I was that kid that didn't like things because it was popular.
you were
I can,
edgy. You're an edge
I can,
lord.
no, not at all. That's too far.
I hate Twilight. Not my thing.
I wasn't even allowed to play M-rated games till like I was 15. Okay, not edgy at
Hey
all.
man. Hey man, there's some spooky stuff in there. Spooky Space. That's gonna be the name of the episode.
Yeah, Call of Duty was my first M-rated game. They might as well make that T. We've already talked about that though.
I don't know. They get one F bomb, solid M on there.
So
I
yes,
think yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, good things. Yeah, good things. Good things to come. I think we have some planning to do in all the best ways, and dare I say that we can bring this one in for a landing and let it let it run its course. Anything else? Any closing thoughts before I give the roundup here?
so just as a wrap up, I recommend either playing FTL as we mentioned,
Yes,
or
yes,
watching. Specifically, you can watch like Day Nine or some other like more popular YouTubers play through it. Um, they're usually pretty entertaining if you don't want to play it yourself. It's lightweight,
sure.
and also yes, give Subnautica a try and before next
Yes,
week and let me know
yes,
what you think.
yes, yes. I look forward to that. I'll probably do that. Well, I told you yesterday Sarah and I are gonna start the Blair Witch game too. So I might try Subnautica here in the next little bit, and then we'll do Blair Witch tonight. Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to that. Take some notes. We'll get some things set in motion. But hey, all right. So that's episode 6. I'm sorry to everyone listening. I guess I don't know if I should apologize or not. But hey, give us a rate, leave a review. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like. If you're gonna stay, if you're gonna leave. We are on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on the YouTube. Sometimes things get on YouTube and sometimes they don't, and that's fine. That's fine. It's just videos. New episodes every Friday. That's the goal. Goals are meant to be achieved, but if they're not, that doesn't mean you're a failure. That just means there's room to grow. Would you agree?
I feel like that jab at me at YouTube was uncalled for.
No, it wasn't a jab. It wasn't a jab. I didn't mean for it to be a jab. I'm sorry. I love you. I love everyone listening. And with that, we are going to leave now.